I'm a young woman and I ain't done running round. Call me a hobo, call me a bum, nobody knows my name or knows what I've done.
Hey, vinyl community, and welcome YouTubers from everywhere. Hey, what, you think something happened to me? You haven't seen a vinyl community video in some time? You saw some other videos? I did those other videos. I lost a bunch of subscribers. So what's going on over here? I'm preparing for the apocalypse. It's not just that I'm preparing for what happens to me in the apocalypse, but I think it's important what we leave for the people that show up after the apocalypse. My program today, and I need your support, 100 records for the apocalypse. No, this is not your 10 records for a desert island or your favorite 100 records or none of that kind of stuff. No, we want to pick 100 records that a future civilization, maybe aliens, maybe just the Mad Max world kind of people that come after, find these records maybe in a library that has books and other art and stuff in it. Who were we? What kind of people were we? We're talking about art here. I picked records. Yeah, we could leave a thumb drive that had 1,000,000 tracks on it. What does that tell them? Doesn't tell them nothing. We want to select. Now, I know a lot of people, they'll select their favorite 100 records, or that would be the first thing they would think about. But no, we want records that show diversity, that show creativity, to show some art. So records are way better than CDs. You got the nice big format. You got the covers. You typically have a nice group of liner notes on the back. We're not talking about technology here. We're not going to show Edison records or cylinder records or thick disc records. No, this is about the music and who we were. I'm going to show you just a few records today to give you some ideas, and I want you to leave comments down below. Don't give me 100. Give me a list of 2 or 3 records that you think are important. Help show to somebody in the future who we were, what kind of art we created, and so forth. And this is a big topic. I need your help. I'm going to quickly show you a little handful of records I picked out. These may or may not be the ones that are going to be in my 100. But after I get some feedback from you all, I'm going to pick 100 records and I'll do a fairly quick flip through them with just a little quick annotation. Tired of all these hour and a half long videos that everybody's doing. None of us have time for that. We got to get ready for the apocalypse. Now, you saw my little lead-in music there. My favorite genre, my favorite category of music. Classic blues singers, the music from the 1920s. This singer's not from the 1920s. She's the best modern singer of that kind of music from the 1920s. Good chance this will be one of mine because this is my favorite genre of music. The music from about 1900 to 1930 is basically the foundation for all American popular music that came after it. Quite important. Try to be sophisticated or snobbish or whatever. You absolutely have to have classical music in there. Here's one of my favorite classical records, because one of the tunes that's on here by Massenet, Meditation from the Opera Thais. I think that is one of the most beautiful melodies that's ever been written. Probably a good chance this might be in my 100. We got all you Blue Note guys, all of you what I call modern jazz guys. Gotta have saxophone colossus in there. Show some tenor sax. I played tenor sax in high school. Vinyl community's great. Yeah, that saxophone colossus, that was VCLT, sent to me by my friend Baraka P. Dubs. Just one example. Now, I know 1,000 people is going to tell me Kinda Blue for Miles Davis. I've heard so many people show and talk about that in the last year, I'm practically sick sick of it, but maybe that's the one that should be in there. Disco. Y'all hate disco. Disco was extremely popular, extremely successful. Whether you hate it or not, it influenced other music, and people are still using disco ideas on the current popular music. This is a real early disco record here. I don't think this will be the one I leave for future people to find out what our disco music was like. It's another thing about these vinyl records. And I'd mentioned we got art on the cover. This tells you some kind of story, whether you like it or not. There is information here. Of course, I grew up in the 1950s. I saw Patsy Cline live before she became famous. This is an early Patsy Cline. She's doing old pop tunes. Bill Bailey, Won't You Please Come Home from the 1920s. Love Sick Blues. Love Letters in the Sand. What's the category that everybody's going to have too many of in their top 100? Rock and roll. Creedence Clearwater's first record. I think that's an important record. I like Creedence Clearwater. What's one of the things that America in particular contributed to worldwide popular music? Country. We can pick a lot of different country records, but here's Merle Haggard, 2-record set, one of my favorite records, doing all the songs of Jimmie Rodgers. Another one of my favorites from the 20s and early 30s. Some say the father of country music. So here we got two guys on one record. Well, another category might be, I don't know how many categories there might be. Maybe you all can clue me in there. How about movie soundtracks? We got to leave some movies for the people to find after the apocalypse. Here's a really great soundtrack. My friend Heaven clued me into this record. I wasn't familiar with it. Of course, I know in the vinyl community we got tons of punks, so we got to have some punk music in there. Be careful not to get too much punk music in there. We got tons of heavy metal. We don't need to overdo that. Pick 100 records. You don't pick 100 for me, but you pick 2 or 3 maybe categories that I've left out. This is just a little sampling, just to give you an idea. I don't want this video to be very long. We don't just want music that had great commercial success or was popular. Yeah, that's important. That really tells who we were. But we want some of the more artistic stuff as well. I'm just going to show records that are in my collection. Yeah, there's lots of records out there, and there's lots of them that really would be significant to show something to people in the future. I'm just going to show records that I actually have. Look back here beside that chair. No records. No records on the floor over here. I'm getting my place cleaned up so that there ain't a mess left after the apocalypse. Keep them spinning and see you all down the apocalypse trail.
Happy trails to you until